Welcome to this Blackpool Music School video all about the dulcimer. In this video I am using a G-tuned dulcimer. In a couple of days there'll be one on a similar subject on the D-tuned dulcimer, and 2 days after that there'll be another one explaining the differences and how you can transfer songs from one to the other. But in this video we're going to talk about the 4 chords you need to know to play a majority of songs on the dulcimer. These same 4 chords would work on a guitar, a piano, any instrument. These are the 4 major chords in most pop, rock songs and country songs, blues as well, in the key of G. That's golf, the key of G. I am tuned G, D, G, G. I have got a 4-string dulcimer, some are 3. The bottom strings are played as parallel pairs, so you hold both down at the same time. So, whether you've got 3 or 4 strings, that's fine, you just copy what I'm doing, okay? So, let's get started. A quick breakdown. This here is the nut. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the frets going down. The way the frets are spaced means you can't really play a wrong note in the key of G. But I will say that some notes do sound better than others. So, let's get started. That, if you strum down without any fingers on, that is a G chord. Think of that as like a rock and roll G. You can hear it sounds very punchy. If you want to make it more melodic, you put your ring finger at the 2nd fret. Remember, that's the nut, 1st, 2nd. We are playing just before it. If it get this sound, you're in the wrong spot. It should ring clean like that. So with your 3rd finger at the 2nd fret, that now makes a nice G chord. Okay, and you can jump between one or the other like this. So on the 1 hand, that finger's on the 2 hand, off, 3 hand, 4 hand. So you get this effect. That's the G chord. So you've got 2 G's, G and G. By the way, when I'm taking my finger off, I'm extending them like that so you can see I've taken them off. In reality, you've just got to lift it a little bit off the string. So that is the G chord. The next one we need is the E minor, echo minor. So that is the 1st fret of the middle string and the 2nd fret of the string nearest your chin. That chord. And if you play it that, you can hear has a sad tone. That is echo minor. Remember, this is the nut, 1st fret, 2nd fret of the string nearest your chin. That is the E minor, echo minor. So you've got a golf chord, 2 golf chords, and 1 echo minor. We now need a Charlie chord, a C chord, so you keep your 1st finger where it should be, and your ring, your little finger, please excuse me, or pinky at the 3rd fret of the pair of strings nearest the floor. If it's a 3-string dulcimer, the 1 string nearest the floor, okay? That is your C chord, your C major, your Charlie chord. So you've got 2 golf, 1 echo minor, 1 Charlie, and now we need 1 more chord, a D chord, a delta chord. Now that is the 1st fret of the string nearest your chin and the pair of strings or the single strings nearest the floor. Remembering this is 0, this is the 1st fret. So that is your delta chord, your D chord. Now when I'm strumming, I'm using the nail going down and the pad of my first finger coming up. If you use a plectrum, that's fine. This is more the left hand or the hand you play chords with. So we've got a golf chord, an echo minor chord, a C chord, and a D chord. Now, in a music book, they might be written a G would be G, E with a lowercase m is E minor, a C would be a C chord, and a D is a D chord. There is a variation of the D, but we're not going to go into that, where it might say D7. You can alternate between D and D7. The fifth note of the scale in the key of G, that is D, you can play as a seventh or as just a major chord. For now, we're just going to stick to the major chord. So you've got a golf chord, another golf chord, an echo minor chord, a Charlie chord, and a delta chord. So if you practice changing between them like this, so we're going to do a bar of each. Just for now, we're strumming down 4 beats to the bar. So you'll strum down like this. We'll use this G for the easiest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's golf, golf, 2. Echo minor, Charlie, delta. And we'll go through it again. Golf, echo minor, Charlie, delta. When you can do that, we'll add the upstroke in. So you're strumming down on the numbers, up on the hands. I am using the nail of my first finger to strum down and the pad of my first finger to strum up. When I say strum down, I'm just strumming through the strings. I'm not strumming directly down, I'm probably strumming at a slight angle. So if you strum at a slight angle, don't worry. When I say down, I just mean heading towards the floor. And when I say up, I mean heading up towards the ceiling. Some people think you have to strum directly down. No, as long as you're heading downwards, that's fine. So you play that like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Charlie, delta, and they are 4 chords. That chord progression is known as the 1950s ballad chord progression. You've probably heard that in several songs. If you alter the amount of times you play each chord, it's used even up to these days, but particularly those ballads from the 1950s, 60s, that chord progression was used quite a lot. So if you practice the chords in that order, you'll be able to play a lot of songs. Now let's clear up something else as well. There won't be too many dulcimer songbooks out there, but any songbook is fine, be it keyboard, guitar, ukulele. As long as the chords are G, E minor, C and D, you can play the song on this. Everything's okay. People think because it's a guitar book or a uke book, it's somehow differently on one of these. No, a G chord is a G chord is a G chord. So they are the 4 chords you really need to know on the dulcimer. Now before we go and split and you start practicing, you don't have to play them in that order. So we played them in that order because it's a nice sounding chord progression. If you were doing other songs, you may just use G, C, G, D minor, G, C, G, D major, sorry, G, C, G, D. I said D minor then, I meant D major. So that's another little chord progression, that's G, C, G, D. You can even make it simpler. There's a few songs you can play with only 2 chords, like Jambalaya, Iko Iko, and a couple of other songs that have just escaped my mind. For them, you only need 2 chords. In this case, you need the G and the D. So you can just practice changing between them. D, G, D, G, D, G, D. So for now, if you have a G-tuned dulcimer, practice changing between them chords. I will be posting other videos where we add more chords to the flavour, but in most, shall we say, pop music, rock music, country music, blues music, the stuff you probably, excuse me, first day with the new mouth, hear on the radio quite often have them 4 chords. They do change in other keys, and in a couple of days I'll be posting another video where I will play the same chords but in a different names and the chords have different names, the same fingering, but the chords change names because we're tuned differently. So check that video out in a couple of days. So until next time, take care, keep practicing, keep playing, and as always, goodbye.